What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Cloud Slayer Chat. I hope you guys are doing well. Today, I want to talk a little bit about, going back from drugs, man. Drugs are extremely addictive. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be smoking weed, you could be doing caffeine. Like people are addicted to coffee, dude. There's plenty of drugs out there, caffeine, stuff like that. And some people just can't get enough of it. Like under that context, I had a buddy. Like we're gonna start this off with caffeine, right? My buddy, he tried to kill himself drinking nothing but monsters. This dude was throwing up purple colors and stuff like that. It was crazy because some girl rejected him that he really liked, so he was trying to drink himself to death with monsters. That dude was like addicted to that shit. I know he's still alive to this day, but he willingly held himself back a couple years so he can graduate with us and shit because he thought we were so cool or some shit. I'm like, dude, whatever. I think he was like 21 when he graduated. I'm not trying to make fun of him too much, but that's what he did, and he had already previously failed when he was younger, so he was there for what, he was in school for 3 years longer than he should have been, which, whatever. That's on him and his family, not anybody else. So it was like, that's probably one of the craziest things I've seen. Somebody try to kill themselves with some monsters. Like, what the fuck are you doing? That dude was probably chugging about, I don't know how much he was chugging. It was quite a bit for him to be throwing up different colors. But I mean, I've drinking massive amounts of energy drinks in a day for weeks at a time, and it sucks, man. That's probably one of my bigger addictions was those gosh darn energy drinks. They cost a lot when you're slamming that many in a day. It costs a lot in general nowadays, especially since the price has gone up. Unless if you drink like Venoms or you go to the Dollar Tree for $1.25. To me, it's crazy that all these other energy drinks like jumped up, spiked in prices, but freaking Venom stayed at $1. Like, what's really happening? You fucking butt pirates, like that's some bogus ass bullshit. But whatever. Everything else is going up too. They're gonna make their money. They gotta make profits. They gotta pay their employees a decent amount of wage. That's how they justify it, or that's how they tell us, right? That and so they gotta pay them more. They want to make the same amount, if not more money, into their own pockets, because if they up the wages of people, then they start losing money, out of their certain percentages because they have to make us. They claim that they're going to make certain amount of percentage per year and stuff like that. And how do they do that? They up the prices for their consumers, right, and stuff like that. And if they got to pay their employees more, they got to do that even more, because it's taken out of a certain percentage, especially if they have to have like yearly raises or, incentives for people to keep on working there, because people aren't going to want to stay there at that same base pay for the rest of their lives. They're working up, or the minimum gets increased to have more and new workers come into the workforce, make it more interesting and be more competitive and all that jazz, I'm sure. And, that's how it is at every job or whatever town you're in, And it seems kind of crazy that people are able to compete like that and do stuff like that. But, it is what it is. It seems like the prices of things are just going to keep going up with them raising wages like that, and who knows what's going to happen, they pay you more, but then they increase everything else, so it's like the same exact thing, and it seems like it affects the ones that don't have anything the most of all, but then you see people, people are on welfare and stuff like that. And if you can't get a job or any of that jazz, or you got disabilities, obviously understandable. But there are some people that piggyback off that shit too, with no problems to them whatsoever. So I mean, there's always that, and I don't know when to tell when that is, except for when you meet those people, right? And get to know them. Like, supposedly can't do certain shit, but you hang out with them and they're doing like all this other shit. They're like, dude, that's way harder than doing a job, you fuckface, stuff like that. But, who the hell am I, right? But you can always come back from those things, man. You gotta come up with a game plan. You gotta find out how much you're doing, like, let's say I drink 8 energy drinks a day, right? And then I'm like, holy shit, that is a lot. That's a massive amount. Maybe you gotta wean yourself off of that stuff, you cut back, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, then maybe even just one, just one in the morning to get you going. Or you switch to like a coffee or something, something like that, where coffee's a little bit cheaper. Oh, that's getting expensive too, but it doesn't have as much shitty stuff in there. Or maybe you make a switch to tea if you don't like coffee, You don't want, like, I have black coffee, like just plain as black coffee. But I do like me some tea sometimes with a drop of honey in there thing. Ooh, tasty, you know what I mean? And it's a better alternative than digging for change for some fucking energy drinks, And it's probably a lot more healthier, except I think they say you can get like kidney stones or some shit like that from consuming too much tea. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I thought I heard somebody say that. Because at one point I was drinking a massive amount of tea, and then I was having some weird problems, and went in, and they're like, well, it could be kidney stones because of tea, and then I didn't have any kidney stones, and they're like, well, we don't know what to tell you, because, I don't know, it was weird. It ended up like clearing itself out anyways. It was going on for like months, and then all of a sudden stopped. Like, the doctors didn't even help me out at all. Like, they're like, well, there's blood in there, but we don't know what's going on, and that was like all I heard from that. And then it stopped, and then I'm like, fuck it, I'm not going back, and haven't had it since. So I got lucky there, I guess. But, there's other drugs that are way more addictive than some energy drinks and stuff like that. But it's not impossible for people to quit those things. It's not impossible for people to come back from those things, man. There's this one viral picture of this one chick. I can't remember her name, but she was really twacked out, really fucked up, I guess her mugshot went like viral 10 years ago. And you could just tell, like, she looked like face was all distorted and all that shit, right? And then it shows to a picture 10 years after, I'm guessing more recently. Well, obviously more recently, but, like real close to this date. So, what was it? She was celebrating her 10 years of sobriety. Oh man, looked way different, way more beautiful. Had a full, head of hair, and I think just graduated college and stuff like that, which is awesome. You go from a drug addict that people probably would probably discount for the rest of their lives. They thought was gone, in the system of crime and stuff like that, and turning it around and going to college and graduating, and did a whole 180 on appearance and all that other stuff. I'm sure it took a massive amount of work. The shit that you don't get to see from people that overcome that shit, overcome that abuse of drugs and alcohol and all that other jazz. And I love seeing that kind of stuff. I love seeing people that, I don't love seeing it, but I do love seeing it because, people are struggling, and then you see them start doing better and working hard and kicking those habits. That's the beautiful part to see. But it'd be beautiful if you didn't have to see it at all, but that's not the world we live in, right? I was also part of some of that stuff too, but I guess it might not have been as bad because, or I didn't look as bad because I was drinking and stuff like that. So I think drinking probably affects more the insides than your outside appearance, I guess. I don't know. But I wasn't taking care of myself anyways, I was just a big lump of lard, I remember I'd talk about quitting, but I'd be drinking that night, right? I'd be drinking that night anyways after work or something. And then, people were like, Travis, quit drinking? Yeah, all right, I don't think so. And I'm like, dude, I'll do it. But I just never did it, I just kept drinking and just acting a fool and, doing drugs whenever I was out with some buddies, some people that didn't really give a crap about me, I mean, granted, I came across a few people that cared, and I still talk to, you know what I mean? But it's a lot more of other people that are looking for a good time, I suppose, or looking to take advantage of somebody, looking to get one up on somebody, or looking to get free drugs. That's the name of the game. Met a few people, and they were like, they're cool with you when you're in that situation of self-loathing or lost in the drugs or whatever your situation is, And as soon as you get off, they don't know you. They don't give two shits, right? They don't know you, period. So you just keep looking forward, walk right past them, pay them no mind, right? Fuck them. You just gotta watch out, make sure they ain't trying to rob you or some dumb shit, because there's people like that out there. So especially if they're in the life of drugs, because it eats up a shit ton of money, man. Them guys will do drugs rather than eat. So I think that's where it gets real bad for them, I have a buddy, he was doing like meth and stuff like that. He was a chunky guy. You couldn't really tell. He seemed like the most normal dude, but the dude was always high on some meth, and I think he sought some help here last couple of years. He got clean. He's clean now, and he's doing real good for himself. He's doing his best. He went out. He was doing like fishing on a fishing boat and stuff like that, which is fucking badass. He works on trains and stuff like that. I think he's like not a conductor, but he like guides people, talks to them, and all that kind of stuff. And fucking awesome dude. Whenever I say Russian subcontractors, he's one of those dudes that was there, one of the Russian subcontractors, my boy Simeon. But shout out to Simeon, Simon. They call him Simeon, but he said, Simon's fine. You Americans don't know how to say my name or type shit, But that's one of my other bros, if I see him, go hang out with him. Wish him well as always, and he was always there too in my DMs, telling me I could do better, telling me to step my game up and all that stuff too, So I appreciate people like that too, especially when you're at your lowest, As mentioned previously, that it's hard to come across people like that want to see you succeed and stuff like that. So, and and to actually mean it, and not just be sitting there two-faced, talking shit behind your back type stuff, because there's a lot of that too. So, it's about finding a better support system and weeding out those people that are dragging you down, and in a sense, making it okay for you to do those drugs. They're not actually doing it. You're doing it, You're doing it. You're okay with it, and you're justifying it because that's what your friends do. That's how it takes for you to be cool or something. I don't know. For me, that's just what I was doing, right? Just doing drugs. I've always took responsibility for that, regardless of what anybody says. My mom, all the time, like, I blame those people that I was hanging out with for taking advantage of you type shit. And I'm like, Mom, I'm a grown-ass man. I was a grown-ass man then, grown-ass man now. I made those choices, and I did those things. And guess what? I chose to get away from those things too. So ultimately, it came down to me getting the fuck out of there and, trying to conquer those demons, trying to stay away from that shit, man. It's that stuff, they harm many families, they harm many people, I know my family's been greatly impacted by it, and I'm sure so have countless other families, many families out there. And it's sad, it sucks, man. Even in like spiritual aspects of that stuff, you know? Like, I always talk about the lodge and stuff like that, but I hadn't really gone there. I mean, I went there since I've turned 18. Like, I stopped going there, started doing drugs, and like kind of ashamed of myself. Not kind of, I was ashamed of myself because I didn't want to bring those things to that beautiful place, you know? That place of believing, that place of all that. But also, like, when I went there, last couple times, they were doing some of the ceremonies, and some of the motherfuckers are tweaking out. Like, some of the people my age might be a couple years older, give or take, you know? But they're like, oh, they're just not feeling good or something. I was like, no, that dude's twacking out. Look at that dude. I only see tweakers do that shit, dude. We're going to sit here and say it's okay and let them be around it. I guess that's better than them going off into the world and doing whatever. But you're also subjecting every other kid around here to this person on drugs, man. Everybody else, including yourself, you know? You're saying it's okay as long as you just show up. And I don't know. I don't know if that's right or not. I don't even, and I at least they're there, you know? I guess, too, is the other part of my mind is like, dude, at least they're there. They're helping people and whatever. But at the same time, they're still destroying themselves. They're still on those drugs. They're still twacked out and stuff, dude. And it's like, it's not just sad. It's like, I hope they get it together too, you know? Because I know how hard it is to get it together, and, you know, there's other aspects to that as well. As like, I had some uncles there, right, that they went to prison, they've been to prison, all that other shit, right? And then they talk about drugs and all that. But then they talk about how they're sober, whatever, still smoking weed, stuff like that. As little kids, they'd give us some weed and stuff like that. And it's like, but you're not. You haven't been that sober. Like, weed's still a mind-altering chemical, still a drug, dude, and stuff like that. And they're smoking weed all the time, you know? They're smoking weed a lot. And even, I'm not going to say much more about it, but they'll judge other people about being fucking druggies while sitting there still doing drugs, lying about being sober still, you know? And, you know, I'm not the most perfect person either. I still indulge in the marijuanas, you know? But I am out here, like, trying to preach to little kids while still giving them drugs, while telling them I'm sober, because I'm not. And I'm not going to hand some weed to some little kids, you know what I mean? Especially underage, underdeveloped kids. Because you just never know how their body reacts to that stuff, you know? There's some people where they smoke a doobie and they lose their minds, dude. It's very possible, very, very possible. That's why it's not recommended to do it till you're older. If that doesn't tell you that it's a drug, then I don't know what will. Sure, there might be many other people that are doing it at a younger age. Myself included, when I did it when I was a kid, and I knew many other people smoking weed when I was in, you know, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade, all the way through high school, you know. So it's not that uncommon, but there are people that have those psychotic breaks. So those are things to keep in mind too. There are people who do it, and it just takes all aspirations away from them. They don't do a gosh darn thing. They don't even show up to school, you know? Like, when you're a teenager, that's when you, like, have a shit ton of energy, right? These motherfuckers don't want to do nothing but sit around, smoke weed, watch TV, or play video games, you know? I'm not knocking it, because, you know, I'd sit around and play video games too, but can't when you got a kid and stuff like that. So, but anyways, I gotta head out here. It's been on a 20-minute walk already. Gotta finish making food. Food was pretty much done, you know, stuff like that. So I hope you guys have a great one. Thank you for coming back to another ramble. And next time I'll try to finish with the actual freaking point, you know, instead of just talking BS. But that's usually how it goes with these rambles. And if anybody's been here before, you understand. So if you like the content, please hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate it. If you just liked it, just like it. Peace out, guys. Love you guys. Peace.